Your thoughts?
What? What? Who?
Nice.
Good morning. It is a Thursday, the 16th day of May. It's my sister's birthday. Happy birthday, Elena. 9:03, that is the time. On RiverBender.com, Roku TV, it's our daily show. And we got a really cool show coming down the pipeline for all of you. Going to be talking to Anne Montgomery here in about 17 minutes or so, but who's counting? Anne just wrote a really cool book and so insightful, and it's based on a true story. And to hear about how this book came about, it's all about the individuals that would go out in World War II and clean the battlefield, clean it, and all that goes into that, and removing bodies and identifying them and going down and retrieving those. And just when we were talking, to hear how the novel came about, it's coming out on June the 8th, or June the 7th. I'm sorry, June the 7th, the book's coming out. And she joined us on Tuesday, and we're going to air that conversation for the first time, a Riverbend exclusive today. And then coming up at 10:30, we're going to be talking to Denise Sparks, getting her insights on 31 years in business. Always great to get Denise on, and really just to celebrate her a little bit today. All that comes down the pipeline in the next 2 hours. You want to be a part of the show? Weigh in, comment, text in, however you do it. Let me know what you want to talk about. Let me know what's on your mind, any thoughts you have. And, this show's really about you. This is your, honestly, over across on the dial, Jennifer Bowman would say it all the time, this is your microphone. And honestly, I'm not going to steal that because that's one of the best lines out there. But it really is. I mean, if you want to utilize it, this is how you do it. Weigh in, text in, and I'll always repeat what you have to say. But, at 9:04, before we do news, my sister, whose birthday is today, I was just thinking about this on the way in. I, do a little bit of... I do a little bit of advertising work and stuff at RiverBender because we sell ads and we sell video commercials and extend a network to put you on, the big websites throughout the world and all that stuff. But whenever my sister came back from Quincy, she had just graduated from getting her marketing degree, to see how really the knowledge that they have now and really all that goes into it. Man, I was blown away. She was showing me a couple of the decks that she was putting together, and now has her own blog, and I'm proud of her, right out of college and just trying to keep on moving until the phone rings from the big company to go work. I love it, and it's just really cool to see how, the world of marketing works and all that fun stuff. 9:05, here's what's happening around the... Oh, and by the way, it was also a great moment for Riverbender when she told me that we're doing the right stuff here. Yeah, I love it. There we go. 9:05, here's what's happening around the Riverbend. Make sure you sign up for your daily email update and text RB and get some SMS notifications for all you millennials and, Gen Zers out there. That means text messaging, 618-202-4618. That's 618-202-4618 to sign up for your RB text alerts. We'll send you weather alerts, breaking news, closings, cancellations, sports scores, and a hell of a lot more when you sign up for those breaking news alerts. We'll take you to Calhoun County first. A 19-year-old from Calhoun County, Briar DeJanes, has been reported missing by his family. According to his mother, Sarah, Briar has not been in contact since he last spoke with his grandfather on the afternoon of May the 12th. He was last seen heading into the Illinois River at 4:18 p.m. His vehicle and boat trailer have been located, but there is no sign of him or the dogs that accompanied him. The Calhoun County Sheriff's Office is urging anyone with information to come forward and assist in the search. Also in the news today, out of South Roxana, a house in the 500th block of Ohio Avenue in South Roxana suffered significant damage due to a fire yesterday afternoon. Here's what we know. The incident prompted a box alarm, drawing response from South Roxana, East Alton, Wood River, Edwardsville, Mitchell, and Roxana fire departments. Firefighters managed to bring the fire under control around 12:30 p.m. thanks to the concerted effort of the responding teams. The cause of the fire is still under investigation. Ameren, Illinois attended the scene to disconnect gas and electricity service, ensuring safety and facilitating the firefighting efforts. Also in the news today, a GoFundMe has been set up to support the 6 children of Danielle Williams, the 39-year-old woman from East St. Louis who was tragically shot and killed outside of a nightclub on May the 13th. Deja Coleman organized the fundraiser and described Williams as a devoted single mother whose sudden death on Mother's Day has left her children without their primary caregiver. The fundraising efforts aim to cover living expenses and education costs, ensuring a stable future for her children, including 2 who are preparing for college and 2 who are under the age of 18. The community support is crucial in helping these children overcome the loss of their mother and continue to pursue their futures. And a link for the GoFundMe is available on the RiverBender.com story. You can go to RiverBender.com/news, click on the article, and you'll see that direct GoFundMe link. Also, in the news today, the Illinois Department of Transportation, in collaboration with United States Representative Nikki Budzinski, is hosting a career fair on May the 23rd at SIUE and their East St. Louis Center. From 10 a.m. to 3 p.m., job seekers can explore opportunities in both technical and administrative roles across various IDOT locations. Representatives will be on hand to discuss vacancies and the application process. Assistance will also be available from the Illinois Secretary of State's office for those needing a commercial driver's license and from the Department of Veterans Affairs for veteran-specific services. While some computers will be provided, bringing a personal laptop is advised. For more information on IDOT's employment opportunities, attendees are encouraged to visit the IDOT Employment Opportunities website. The event is free with registration recommended, but not mandatory. At 9:10, let's take a look at your weather for this morning. Currently at 72 degrees. It feels like 73. Get that umbrella out because we got about 50 minutes until we see some rain. Today, considerable cloudiness, rain, and a thunderstorm this morning, followed by a few heavy thunderstorms in the area this afternoon. They're predicting isolated storms, but we'll see, being in the 618. Tonight, mostly cloudy. A couple of heavy evening thunderstorms, followed by a passing shower later on this evening. We will have rain pretty much all throughout the day, off and on. Temperatures will drop down to 70 degrees throughout the morning. That'll be our high as we go through the 16th of May. Temperatures drop down to 60 overnight as we head into Friday. On Friday, a 60% chance of more thunderstorms in the area. A high of 75 degrees, a low of 59 degrees as we head into the weekend. No rain predicted at all. We needed that. A high of 83 degrees on Saturday, a low of 62. On Sunday, a high of 90 and a low of 65. How about that? And on Monday, a high of 87 degrees, a low of 69 on the 20th of May. For time and temperature throughout the day, you can give this phone number a ring, 618-465-4545. This time powered by Tom Lane. He's your local State Farm agent. Hey, while I have you, let me fill you in on Alton Little Theater. We will send you to Skycam here too. Princesses and Company Cabaret Concert is coming to Alton Little Theater. Be their guest for a princess breakfast on June 1st at 9 a.m. and 11 a.m. It's $12 per person, plus you can enjoy the Princess and Company Cabaret Concert directed by Becca Peach on the evenings of May 31st and June the 7th, plus matinees on June 1st, June 2nd, June 8th, and June 9th. Adults are $20 for the concert, $15 for the youth, 17 and under. And what better way, really, to kick off your summer fun as a family, especially if, I don't know. You know I give you guys ideas on this show. Maybe you got a upcoming trip to Disneyland coming down the pipeline, or Disney World, which one you prefer, and you thought, what better way to break the news than, you take your little ones over to the Princesses and Company Cabaret concert at Alton Little Theater, located at 2450 North Henry Street. You take them to the concert, they watch it, you get in the car, and then you show them the tickets to Disney World and say that was just a taste of what's to come. I know that's what you were kind of thinking. I got you covered, and all you got to do now is call the box office and get tickets. 618-462-3205. That's 618-462-3205, or go to altonlittletheater.org. That's altonlittletheater.org, or just click on the RiverBender.com wallpaper today where it says Princesses and Company Cabaret Concert. Click on it. It'll take you right to the ticket link, and you and your little ones, your entire family, is ready for a princess breakfast and that Princesses and Company Cabaret concert as we kick off the 91st season of Alton Little Theater. For more season ticket information as well, altonlittletheater.org. That's altonlittletheater.org. And hang out with Lee Cox and I on the first and last Thursday of each month with Theater Thursday. We'll take a quick break, but we'll come back with Anne Montgomery and learn about this really great book. But now, let's take a look and see, how downtown Alton's looking before the rain comes in. And no, I don't have the thunder rolls on a sound bed for you. I just got a little bit of George Strait. So we'll take a break, come back, Daily Show hits you on a Thursday, right after this on Riverbender.
Knowing nothing's gonna change what I am. I was a young troubadour when I wrote in on a song, and I'll be an old troubadour when I'm gone.
I had an amazing experience with Dr. Haug and her team. I came here when I was 10 years old to get my braces on. Now I'm 28 years old, braces off, and I get so many compliments on my smile. It's helped me thrive in my career as a news reporter, and also as Miss Missouri USA, I took the stage with confidence, knowing my smile was gonna make me look like $1,000,000. I've never felt better and more confident because of my smile.
Life's better when you're under the American Family Insurance roof, because they know your house is home base for their dreams. Whether it's a kid like me aiming for the big leagues, ready, future rocket scientist, or a budding prima ballerina. When you feel totally protected, your family's free to pursue their dreams. She's good.
Let's go.
American Family Insurance.
No matter the season, Play It Again Sports in Edwardsville has the gear the athletes need to get in the game. Whether you're shopping for the newest sports equipment or saving money on quality used gear, Play It Again Sports carries what you need to maximize performance to get the most out of every swing, kick, stroke, or shot. We'll even buy your used goods, paying cash on the spot. We carry all the gear for all the sports all year long. We're your hometown sporting goods store. Play It Again Sports, conveniently located at 4 Club Center Court in Edwardsville. Picture This and More has been a trusted name in the Alton community for more than 30 years, with the last 3 being right here on Broadway. We specialize in quality framing at affordable prices. We also feature works by local artists because we're proud of our community. If you have valued treasures to display and preserve, we're sure to have the perfect fit with our large selection of custom framing and display options. Whatever color, shape, or size, Picture This and More has the look you need. Stop by today and let us help you with your next project.
You're listening to Our Daily Show with CJ Nasello on RiverBender.com. Man, it feels like Miami down here. Welcome to this Thursday morning, and we have some humidity in Illinois for the first time in a while. It feels like Florida.
Well, we don't have any because I live in the desert in Arizona, so we don't even understand what humidity means.
No,
so.
I've always wondered that, Ann. Is a dry heat still a heat? Because I've never been...
Oh, hell yes. I mean, last summer, we had, 53 or 56 days over 110.
That's right.
And 115 was more normal. We treat it like you treat winter. We don't go out. We don't go out in it. You know, the people that are out in the summer here are tourists. because we just run to our cars. And when you put your seatbelt on, you get like second-degree burns.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah, it's really, now we get used to it. We do. But it's like, I know in Illinois, I'm guessing you have darkness and cold and gray. And yeah, so you get used to it. So,
And that's just summer. No, I mean,
yeah, exactly.
Well, this is really cool. Last year, Anne, you were on, and we had a really great conversation. And now, this time around, we're talking Your Forgotten Sons. This is a really, really cool book, and just the story on how this came together. Take it away, Senator. The floor is yours. How did this come about?
Yeah, all of my books so far to date have been about Arizona, places in Arizona, locations, and different stories. But this was very different. A dear friend who I've known for 40 years, I met her when I worked for my first TV station in Columbus, Georgia. She called me and she said, I need you to come to Johns Hopkins Hospital because I have to have surgery and I might be paralyzed from the waist down. Now, why did she call me? Her husband is a soldier who did 3 tours, Afghanistan, Iraq, and he cannot be in hospitals. There was a very bad situation where his men were dying in a hospital in Iraq, I think. And so he couldn't handle it. So she said, come be my healthcare power of attorney. I said, of course. So I flew to Baltimore, and the night before the surgery, she hands me this Ziploc bag of old letters. And she said, no matter what happens to me, I want you to promise that you will tell Bud's story. And because I wanted to make her feel better, I went, okay, of course,
right.
I'll do anything, right? And the bottom line is she had a tumor wrapped around her spine, and they removed it, and she walked out of the hospital, but I had made a promise.
Yep.
So Sergeant Bud Richardville was her uncle. Her mother was one of those people who had babies like 20 years apart.
Oh, okay.
He's actually her direct uncle, even though she's in her 60s, so her mother was pretty old when she had her. And so she grew up with these pictures of this soldier on the wall at home that never came home from World War II. And turns out he worked, when they inducted him, they put him in the Graves Registration Service. Do you know what that is?
I do not, actually.
It's part of the quartermasters, and the quartermasters are, of course, people that supply everything. Without them, there's no war. Mm-hmm. But the Graves Registration Service are the guys that locate, identify, and bury the dead.
Oh, wow.
Now, think about that job.
Yeah.
Think about it. Now, I was unable to get any of Bud's military records because in 1973, the military personnel records depository in St. Louis burned to the ground. 80% of all their records from, I think, 1912 to 1960 were destroyed. Mm-hmm. Bud's among them. So I had no physical records. So I'm like, how am I supposed to find out what happened to this man and where he was when I have no military records? Well, I started going by the dates on postmarks on the letters that she gave me. Some of these letters were to his mother. Some were to his wife, brand new wife. He just met a week before he left. Some were to his sister. And I had to follow where he was. By following those postmarks, I sensed he'd been at Normandy when he landed at Normandy. He was at the Battle of the Bulge. He was with Patton's Third Army in Czechoslovakia when they were trying to take that country back from the Nazis. So I followed those. I wasn't sure until after the book went to press. I got a copy of his obituary that ran in a newspaper in Vincennes, Indiana, which is where he was from. And it proved that I was right.
Wow.
That he had been in all these places. And so his job, along with the men he served with, he hit the beaches at Normandy. Well, guess what? There are thousands of dead. Yep. And not just bodies, but pieces of bodies. And I will tell you now that this book is necessarily gruesome. It really is horrible. If you've ever seen the first 24 minutes of Saving Private Ryan, not Saving Private Ryan. Yeah, Saving Private Ryan.
Yep.
Where they hit the beach. It's like that. But now the camera pans away and their bodies are everywhere. Now they've got to be collected. They've got to be identified. We've got to do something with them, not only because of the disease factor, but because you've got more men coming through there, and it's the morale factor. It's the idea that what do you do when you got 18-year-old soldiers who are hitting the beaches going, crap, there are thousands of dead people here. So the Graves registration guys had to immediately go in, and they dug temporary graves near the beach, and then they had to move them later and build cemeteries. And today there are in 36 different countries there are American cemeteries that were built by the Graves Registration Service. So that was Bud's job.
I couldn't.
And
I just couldn't, because we had the chance, I did, to go to Normandy or go into France and see all the flags there that are lined up in that memorial, and or not flags, the poppy flowers that are all down. It's so beautiful in France. But I couldn't imagine that, Anne. I mean, you're going and removing a fallen soldier that, like you said, it could be bits of somebody that's just,
a foot. And if you were at Normandy, Bud helped to build that cemetery, and the one in Luxembourg, and the one in Epinal. I mean, all of them were built by this Graves Registration Service. So you had taken he was a happy-go-lucky guy. He was a little bit of a womanizer. The women loved him. He was handsome and charming. And he had very little education. But he went to work he was a logger. So he went to work in the paper mills in Michigan, which were an essential military business.
Mm-hmm.
So he didn't get drafted till he was 29. So because the military needed paper.
Makes sense. It makes total sense when you say that. Yep, because you can't.
My dad worked for Westinghouse. He didn't get drafted till a little later either, because he was working. It was an industry that was needed by the military. So by the time Bud was drafted, he was 29 years old, which made him like a different generation from the 17 and 18-year-olds that were in his unit. So you've got these young boys, and they get thrown on the beaches, and they say, pick up all the parts, find the pieces, and identify them. Now, how do you do? Some of them, maybe they had a tattoo or a religious medal or a label in their clothing, but this is what these guys did every day.
Well, and did it, Anne, while there's fighting going on. I mean,
they were right behind the troops. And when one of Bud's letters, these guys were embarrassed to admit what they were doing. Many of them wanted out, and they couldn't get out. And they said, look, someone has to do this job. And the military said, this is your job. Go do it. And it was very difficult. They didn't tell their family members. Bud didn't tell his family members what he was doing, except for his brother-in-law, who was Regina's father.
Okay.
So he said, yes, I'm in the Graves unit. And one letter said, I'm not embarrassed. We're doing an important job. We even got an accommodation, which we figured was from the Battle of the Bulge. They're right there. The bullets are still flying in some cases.
Yeah.
And even worse than being in the battles are the situations where they have to go back a long time later. And how did honestly, there've been no movies, no books. When we talk about war, we see planes fall from the sky, we see guys shoot each other, and then the camera moves on and the carnage remains. So we never see that part.
Right.
It was very hard for me to find any research on this until I found a book called Crosses in the Wind. And it was written by a man who was in the Graves Registration Service, a man who became a Lieutenant Colonel Shulman. And he wrote 2 years after the war what that was like, and wrote specific instances where these men worked. And I took some of his descriptions and gave them to Bud, because quite honestly, this is a book inspired by a true story.
Right.
Based on a true story would mean that everything is true. Every conversation is true. Every character is true. But I couldn't do that. I didn't know who his friends were. I didn't know exactly where he was. So I took Shulman's information and I put Bud in some of those situations. And the most harrowing one was a couple of weeks after Normandy. They sent these guys back to the beach. And you know what a Higgins boat is? It's the boat that drops down and all the guys burn. Yeah. One of those boats had been hit with a shell and it flipped, and there were men in it. Now this is like a couple weeks later, and they're underwater.
Oh no.
They're under. Now we're talking no scuba tanks, no nothing. These guys, they said, okay, go down and get the bodies. Go down in the water. They've been down there a while, and bring up what's left. And that's what they did.
Well, and who knows, I mean, I hate to sound morbid, but after a couple of weeks of floating in water, I mean, your body's already breaking down, and who knows what's there to, I mean, no telling what's going to happen when you go in that water.
Right. And the men had to be very careful because there was metal, there could be unexploded ordnance, that kind of thing. But they couldn't say, no, we're not going to do it.
Right. Well,
and so they had to go in, and that was one of the most harrowing things. And then on top of that, they had to liberate the death camp. And once the death camps were liberated, somebody had to clean it up. These were the guys. And you could see in his letters how he disintegrated over this time.
Yeah. And that's what, I mean, to me, there's no more crucial job, because the way you described it, I mean, you're right. You have to be there to bury those individuals, those fallen soldiers, because just the morale thing alone, you know, you're storming the beaches and you're seeing bodies just piling up. I mean, you aren't running in the foxhole anymore. You're thinking it's over, you know, and not just that, but I mean, just the fact that for him to look at a soldier in the face knowing there's a good chance that I'm going to be picking you up without you looking back at me is really powerful.
Yeah.
I mean, really.
The sad thing, well, there were a lot of sad things, clearly, but it wasn't just Allied soldiers. They had to pick up everybody. So they often, they had to get all the German soldiers too.
Wow.
You can't have any bodies because there can be disease happens. And again, the morale issue. So it was a horrible job. And there was one scene that broke my heart, and it was where the men in the graves registration units had trucks full of bodies that they were moving to a cemetery, and there were a group of American soldiers marching down the road that they were on. And when the soldiers saw them, they turned their backs on them. They just turned and wouldn't look at them, like they weren't doing an important job. And what I've learned is that these guys have never gotten any recognition. No one ever said good for you or patted them on the back. And I think it's heartbreaking, because you cannot tell me that these men who came home didn't come home with deep invisible wounds that no one ever allowed them to talk about.
Well, and I couldn't imagine holding that role, and I just couldn't, because I'd be somebody that immediately, the moment I have to, start doing that process, I think about everyone's relatives and all of those really it's really important conversations on, man, what about his mom? What about his dad? Did he have kids? I couldn't do that job mentally today.
They would have made you.
Exactly.
They would have made you do it. And the thing is, some of Bud, because he was older, he was made a sergeant before he went to war, even though he came in as just a regular guy. Mm-hmm. Because he was older, the young kids kind of would go to him and he would help them. He was a good guy. Go ahead.
Sorry for cutting. Was there any correlation or any type of thoughts in his letters about, being an older guy around some of the younger men? Were there any generational, gaps or any, writings on, man, these guys are wild, or what are they saying,
They were not allowed to talk about other soldiers or where they were. But the other thing is that he was an uneducated man. His letters were pretty basic for the most part. Mm-hmm. And they were the guys were also told, don't tell your family bad things. Don't tell them what they're doing. He never even told his mother or his wife what he did. Because how do you explain that? Now think about it. You're supposed to go to war and take that hill and be a hero, and he's over there picking up bodies. So they very often didn't mention it. And I only saw him mention it once to his brother-in-law.
Well, I mean, my heart breaks for that, though, because they're as much a part of the fight than anybody. And, and they had to show more compassion too, and more human-like qualities, because you're fighting your enemy and you're trying to get bodies cleared out and you're trying to do your job. And here's a Nazi soldier that's in front of you. And instead of doing what a lot of, I'm sure, grunt soldiers would want to do and, light him up or whatever, you're treating him with dignity to make sure that soldier is being buried somewhere and being accounted for. And that, to me, is you have to be a certain human to be able to really do those things.
Well, I think, to me, it's probably the most difficult job in the military.
100%.
And where do we go today when we honor people that fought in World War II, World War I? They've always been these people.
Yeah.
We go to the cemeteries that they built. And you've been to them. I've been to them. They are graceful and beautiful and peaceful. Where we had killing fields are now beautiful places of remembrance that they built.
I didn't even think about that. I didn't even think about that aspect of it.
Nobody does. Every time I say it, they go, I never thought about where the bodies went. Well, today, of course, we still have, it's called mortuary affairs today. Since Vietnam, they've called it mortuary affairs. But we do not bury them on foreign soil anymore. We fly them home. But we didn't have that ability in World War II. There were also so many people dying so quickly that they buried them there. Now, some people got their family members back. They had a choice. but the military said, sign this paper and we're leaving them wherever they are. So we were hoping to bring Bud home. He's buried in Epinal, France, buried by the men he worked with. And, but the military owns him now, so we will probably never get to do that.
Well, and that's a whole nother aspect that I've never even thought of, too, is, I'm sure there's so many millions of Americans that want their loved one back home with them rather than over on foreign soil. And that's
families signed those papers. And
did
said,
they?
Look, yeah.
Okay.
And what they'd say is your family member died. They've been buried here because we're in the middle of a war. They couldn't, we didn't have the capacity to ship all these bodies home at that point. We were in the middle of a war for 4 years.
Right.
So today we can put them on a plane and they'll be back here in your home in 24 hours. But it wasn't like that then. So they told the families at the end of the war, they said, here, we can leave them where they are in these cemeteries we built. If you'd like them to come home, fine. But if not, we'll give you a paycheck. Here's some money. And many families took the money.
Oh, I didn't.
Now, I'm not criticizing.
No,
that at all.
yeah, totally.
That was the case.
But I'm learning, though. I always love chatting with you. Even last year, I was learning stuff. And it's funny. Someone texts me. They go, CJ, why do you always seem excited whenever you kind of you don't know where to go with something. I go, hell, I'm learning with everybody else, too, and that's what life's about, is to learn about those things. And really, it helps me understand better about your book. And now, as you're writing this, did you have any conversations with your friend on some of the discoveries you found? What was that like, from start to finish? I got to hear that story.
Regina, who I call Reg, grew up in the military. Her dad fought in 3 wars. And she's lived by Fort Benning her whole life, or a lot of her life. So she's very military oriented, and she's helped me immensely with research and to tell Bud's story. And she also, the family had many oral histories about Bud, and she relayed them to me. For example, that he married this woman like a couple weeks before he went to war. Nobody knew who she was, and she was very mysterious, and she remains very mysterious. Lorraine was an odd woman. Have you ever heard of the allotment Annies?
Uh-huh.
Okay, so allotment Annies are women who married multiple soldiers at the same time to get a paycheck. Back in those days, they got $20 a week, which today is like $360 a week. And if the soldier or sailor airman died, they got a $10,000 paycheck.
Right.
That's like $175,000 today. So there were women who married multiple soldiers or sailors. And in fact, the military knew all about this. They had movie reels that they showed the soldiers saying, please do not marry someone you don't know. Please, because these guys are naive. They're 17, 18-year-old kids that came off farms. And they were very easily manipulated. And one woman was married to 6 sailors at the same time.
Were they on the same boat?
No. Only reason they found out was because these 2 sailors are next to each other in a bar in Australia. And they're going, hey, here's my wife. Here's a picture. And the other guy goes, here's my wife. Wait a minute. It's the same woman. And they caught her. And she was one of the few women ever prosecuted for it. She was put in prison for a little bit. But the idea is, now I know that sounds horrible that women would do that, but women had never worked much outside of the home before. They suddenly could be Rosie the Riveter or work for the war effort, but they knew when the men came home, they were back to nothing.
Yeah.
So, and there weren't any high-paying jobs or good-paying jobs for women. So I can sort of understand how a desperate woman might have done this, but Bud's wife was so cruel, and the letters, when the family told me stories about her, because I have no letters from her, the letters in the book I fabricated because I understood what had happened, and I don't want to give too much of it away.
No.
But bottom line is she broke his heart. In the meantime, there were quiet family whispers that he had fallen in love with another woman while he was at war.
Oh.
So, and he was Catholic. He was married. He was very conflicted about these things. And so I don't have all the facts. Again, this is inspired by a true story, but along with the horrors of war, there's a love story in there.
Well, I'm telling you, and I'm excited to get my hands on a copy of this. I mean, whenever you sent me the first email, I went, oh man, we got to talk about it. And now, here we are, less than a month away from when it hits the online shelves. Is it going to be in bookstores? Where can we find a copy?
You can buy it anywhere. It's on all of the online book sales. You can go to Barnes and Noble. It might not be on it wouldn't be on the shelf, but they would get it for you.
Oh, absolutely.
If people go to my website, which is Anne Montgomery, writer.com, there's all links to it everywhere.
And we'll make sure to link everything in a write-up that we do, Anne, because this is what a great story. Just the story on writing the book itself is amazing, and then the story you're telling is just really fascinating, and something that really does need to be given more of a look into is the soldiers, just like just like Bud, that are going through and being, what's the actual term? What were they called?
Graves registration.
Grave registration. Oh, to me, so many around here, Anne, are going to love learning about that, because I have no idea until you started talking really about their role, what that was.
I think that by nature, we shut that part off.
Yep.
We go, oh, great, cool battle, air battle, planes fall down. But we don't go, hey, where are the pilots that went down?
Yeah.
Where are the guys in the ships? I interviewed a number of World War II veterans when I was a print reporter for a Memorial Day story. My editor said, go out and do a Memorial Day story. Where are all the parties? Where are all the sports? I said, that's not what Memorial Day is.
No.
Memorial Day is about remembering those who didn't come home. And he looked at me, goes, write whatever you want. So I went to the local VFW and I interviewed some men who'd been in World War II. And I mentioned that because one of them, I asked, what do you remember? What do you remember about men who didn't come home? And he said, I was in a helicopter and they were lowering me down into the water to get some bodies, but there were sharks everywhere and they were eating the bodies. And he said, they pulled me back up and would not allow me to go down there. That whole idea isn't what bothered him. It bothered him that they didn't know if it was one or two bodies, and that men could never be declared dead because he couldn't retrieve them.
Oh, man.
So that's, he wanted to do his job, but they wouldn't let him. He couldn't get down there. And so no one ever got any peace of mind about what had happened to their loved one or loved ones. I think it's natural for us to turn away from that part. The other problem with this, though, is not just us wanting to ignore the dead. It's us ignoring the mental health situations of our military.
100%.
Today, every news show, every day is talking about dealing with your mental health and talk about it, and we accept it, but not in the military. Yeah. If you have issues, and there are a lot of them that do, they are afraid to mention it, that it will ruin their careers. And guess what? They're right. Yep. It should not be like this now. I watched Bud disintegrate through his letters. I watched it. Now, I know how many men came home with deep, invisible wounds that no one wanted to hear about. Yeah, I mean, you probably remember the time in Patton's movie where he slapped the guy who was in the hospital bed suffering from shell shock. Mm-hmm. Slapped him and called him a yellow-bellied coward because his brain went. Now, today we know better, but the military doesn't want to talk about that. It's considered weakness. And in the military, all we see is big, strong, tough people. And they've got to fix it, because every day in this country, 20 veterans/service people are committing suicide. And we need to do better. The military needs to do better to figure out a way to help these people.
100%, Anne. And I can't speak highly enough on that. I used to do a veteran show when I was on the AM dial over in St. Louis, and all it was about how the VA is getting better. But one thing they never tackled was mental health in these veterans and these folks that are going into the military, and maybe some on-hand counseling services and different tools that those soldiers can lead and learn as they're going through their tenure. And then, of course, the resources afterwards. It's just not there. It's just not.
And the military has proven it can tackle a problem.
Yep.
I mean, I think leading up to World War I, 80% of the wounded died, and they died infection, all kinds of things. Today, 80% live.
Right.
That are severely wounded. They live because we figured out how to set up MASH units. We figured out how to get people home and get people well and do their surgeries. So Bottom line is they need to tackle this. They really do.
They 100%, and so many of us in this area will be echoing those thoughts going forward, and hopefully more of a national conversation can be had on that very important topic too. Anne Montgomery, Your Forgotten Sons comes out what day?
June 6th.
That's
the
okay.
80th anniversary of D-Day.
100%. And we'll link it on RiverBender.com on the on-demand interview and on our write-up that we're going to do on this. So that way you guys can just click on the link and you're good to go. And thank you so much for your time. Always a pleasure chatting with you.
Thank you for having me, CJ. I really appreciate it.
No problem. Before we take a quick break, and this was not on purpose, one of our biggest supporters now of the show is Centerstone, which Centerstone is a national leader in mental health and substance use disorder treatment for people of all ages. And folks, if at home, if you're looking for a fresh start on the road to recovery, a life free from addiction is possible, and it starts at Centerstone. Centerstone is a national leader in mental health and substance use disorder treatment, but their clinicians use evidence-based treatment programs in all of their practices. So it means, Anne, that they're getting something that's developed for them, not one of those tried for 10 years and maybe it worked for some, maybe it didn't work. This is developed for you at home that are going through this journey. There's so many unknowns on that road to recovery, but one thing you can know for sure is that Centerstone will be a constant guiding force for you on your recovery journey. You can go to recoverwithus.org, that's recoverwithus.org, or call 1-877-HOPE-123 to learn more today. Anne Montgomery, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, CJ. That was perfect.
Thank you. Thank you very much. We'll take a quick break here in our daily show. We'll roll right around the corner right after this in downtown Alton.
No matter the season, Play It Again Sports in Edwardsville has the gear the athletes need to get in the game. Whether you're shopping for the newest sports equipment or saving money on quality used gear, Play It Again Sports carries what you need to maximize performance to get the most out of every swing, kick, stroke, or shot. We'll even buy your used goods, paying cash on the spot. We carry all the gear for all the sports all year long. We're your hometown sporting goods store. Play It Again Sports, conveniently located at 4 Club Center Court in Edwardsville.
I just got a new air conditioner. Top of the line.
I bet mine's better. It's so efficient and quiet, I hardly know it's running.
I've got you both trunked. I've got a Linux.
So do I.
Barrett Heating and Cooling carries Linux products to meet any budget. Don't gamble with your energy dollars. Call Barrett Heating and Cooling and start saving today.
Lennox. Innovation never felt so good.
With over 20 years of experience, Wilson's Tree Service has the expertise to handle all of your tree care needs. Licensed and fully insured, their team of experts are dedicated to providing reliable service. Plus, with a 24-hour emergency service line, Wilson's will always be there for you. Don't risk tackling that timber by yourself. Trust the local professionals at Wilson's Tree Service. Visit treeservicealtonil.org to get started today.
Welcome to Evergreen Place, a community that embodies joyful living, independence, and financial freedom for seniors. If you're looking for a full day of activities or to relax in your apartment, we have you covered. Located on the Alton Memorial Campus. To know us is to love us. Experience the difference at Evergreen Place.
Life's better when you're under our roof. That's because our expert agents will make you feel totally protected with the right auto and home coverage at the right price. Also, you can enjoy the dreams you've worked so hard to achieve. American Family Insurance.
Since 1993, Sparks Junk Removal is always adapting to the needs of our clients. That is why we now offer weekly trash pickup for selected areas. Plus, we offer driveway-safe rubber-tired dumpster rental. Give us a call today at 618-781-1407 or visit us at sparksjunkremoval.net.
Not sure if you've noticed, but those advertised prices from the other dealers are just a bunch of blah, blah, blah. At Roberts Motors, the advertised price is the price you pay. And that, my friend, is great news for you. Don't fall for their so-called incentives that will leave you banging your head against the wall. Go with Roberts Motors. Prices you can trust and people you will like. That's the Roberts Motors way. And trust me, it's the way to go.
In the heart-pounding moments of the game, every move counts, just like in chiropractic care. Dr. Andrew Dykman of Rosewood Chiropractic champions this belief, supporting our teams in every drive and supporting his patients for nearly 20 years, offering affordable, compassionate, all-natural wellness care. Call 618-259-2676 or visit rosewoodchiropractic.com today.
Welcome back to our daily show. Here's CJ.
Too many highs, too many lows. Too many storms and tornadoes. I need some blue skies and sunshine.
I am literally holding in a sneeze, and it hurts. It's 9:47 and a little bit of change. It's 69 degrees. I was right about weather today. How about that? I told you it's only going to keep dropping from here. And I was, I can hold that, hold that on a trophy somewhere. I don't know if you guys have ever had to deal with this, but I was on Facebook scrolling through at an event yesterday. And there's just some folks out there that get us like a false sense of accomplishment. You know what I'm saying? I don't need to go into it. We all know what I feel like. I don't know if you guys encounter it. How do you deal with like somebody that is constantly just trying to get attention? That's what I want to know. Weigh in and text me, comment it in, and we'll figure it out together. Hey, we're going to go through events in a couple of seconds, but let's take a look at what happened on my sister's birthday. Well, she was born in 2001. Happy birthday to Elena. But the big one, sorry, Elena, is the first ever Academy Awards ceremony taking place on this date in the year 1929. Also, on this date in the 1980s, the discovery of the ozone hole was announced on this date in 1985. And I got some coworkers up there smiling. On this date, in art, literature, and film history, Barbara Walters signed off on this date in 2014. On this date in European history, the French Dauphin Louis marries Marie Antoinette in 1770. I'm pretty sure I got both of those words right. On this date in World War II history, the Warsaw Ghetto Uprising ended on this date in 1943. On this date in sports history, basketball great Magic Johnson plays center as a rookie and wins the championship on this date, May the 16th, 1980. On this date in presidential history, in 1868, the Senate fails to convict President Andrew Johnson of impeachment charges. And I'm pretty sure that was the first impeachment. That happened on this date on May the 16th, 1868. In art, literature, and film history, yet again, satirical writer Voltaire is imprisoned in Bastille. That happened in 1717. On this date during the Cold War in 1960, U.S.-Soviet summit meeting collapses after the U-2 spy plane is shot down. That happened on this date in the year 1960. On this date during the Revolutionary War in 1769, Virginia's House of Burgesses criticizes taxation without representation. That happened in 1769. Also in American Revolution history in 1777, Georgia patriot Button Gwinnett is fatally wounded in a duel. That happened in 1777. On this date during World War I, the U.S. Congress passes the Sedition Act. On this date in 1918. On this date during World War I, Britain and France conclude the Sykes-Picot Agreement. That happened in 1916, May the 16th. On this date in music, let's take a quick little gander. Ronnie James Dio, singer with Elf, Rainbow, Black Sabbath, and his own band Dio, died after a 6-month battle with stomach cancer. He was 67 years old. Dio's career began in 1957 with the Vegas Kings, which later changed to Ronnie and the Rumblers, then Ronnie and the Redcaps, then in 1961, Ronnie Dio and the Prophets. In 1967, Dio and the Prophets guitarist Nick Pantis formed the Electric Elves, which shortened the name to Elf. The band's success eventually landed them an opening spot with Deep Purple, which exposed Dio's voice to Deep Purple's guitarist Ritchie Blackmore, which later recruited Dio and other members of Elf for his new band Rainbow. That died on this date in 2010. On this date in 2009, Bob Dylan went to #1 on the U.S. album chart with Together Through Life, his 33rd studio album. The album received 2 Grammy nominations in Best Americana Album category and Best Solo Rock Vocal Performance category for Beyond Here Lies Nothing. The album is also significant as the only album by Dylan to top the U.S. and UK charts consecutively. On this date in 1993, U.S. soul singer Marv Johnson died of a stroke. He had the U.S. top 10 single I Love the Way You Love, and the 1969 UK #10 single, I'll Pick a Rose for My Rose. Johnson's recording of Berry Gordy's song Come to Me became Motown's first ever single released in May of 1959. On this date in 1987, U2 started a 3-week run at #1 on the U.S. singles chart with With or Without You, the group's first U.S. #1. The third track from the 1987 album, The Joshua Tree, the song was the group's most successful single of all time. I wish I could have gone and seen their concert in the Sphere. You know, that would have been cool. And you know, I want to go, but I want to go for like a big event. You know, I just don't want to go see a bunch of elephants walking on the screen. I can do that at home. You know, I want to see something really cool. Hey, on this date in 1984, Ozzy Osbourne was a staggering drunk, and he was arrested for it in Memphis, stumbling down Beale Street. Osbourne was released from Memphis jail 5 hours later after quote-unquote drying out and was not required to return for a court appearance. He continued on with the tour in support of 1983's Bark at the Moon. Also on this date in music history, Patti Smith made her UK debut at the Roundhouse in London. The American singer-songwriter, poet, and visual artist became highly influential component of the New York City punk rock movement with her 1975 debut album, Horses. In 1970, Crosby, Stills, Nash & Young were at #1 on the U.S. album chart with Deja Vu. The album featured top 40 singles, Teach Your Children, Our House, and Woodstock. In 2003, the album was ranked 148 on Rolling Stone's magazine list of the 500 greatest rock albums of all time. On this date in 1970, the England World Cup soccer squad were at #1 on the U.S. singles chart with Back Home. The track spent 3 weeks at the top of the charts. On this date in 1969, Pete Townshend spent the night in a U.S. jail for assaulting a man during a Who gig at the Fillmore East. What Townshend didn't know is that the man who jumped on the stage was a plainclothes policeman trying to warn the audience that a fire had broken out. And, well, he decked him. The Who guitarist was fined $30 for the offense. And I'm pretty sure that about does it. Let's take a look at who was born on this date, 1966. All for you, Janet Jackson, born on this date. Over 100 million records sold worldwide. And, well, Richard Page, how about that? Richard Page, lead singer and bassist for American pop rock band Mr. Mister, who scored the 1985 #1 and #4 on 1986 on the UK singles chart with Broken Reed. Barbara Lee, also born on this date, from all-American girl group the Chiffons, who had the 1963 #1 single He's So Fine, and 1972 UK #4 Sweet Talkin' Guy. There you go. That's what happened on this date in history. Let's take a look at events. This weekend is brimming with excitement, and it starts at Flock Food Truck Park and Bar for a Friday night of great tunes and delicious food. You can listen to the Love Buzz live at the Flock and enjoy a lively performance that will make your evening unforgettable. That happens on Friday night. At Theodora Farm, you can plant pre-order pickups off at Theodora Farms, where it offers you the chance to collect the plants that you already pre-ordered online. You can simply visit the store during business hours, Tuesday to Friday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m., and Saturday, 10 a.m. until 1 p.m. Happening in Grafton, the Blues Music Festival is the perfect way to chase your blues away with 15 live bands performing all weekend long in Grafton. The free event promises an exhilarating experience with great music and, of course, a vibrant atmosphere. Also this weekend, Singing in the Rain, a delightful rendition of that classic musical set in the late 1920s, depicting the transition from silent films, running out of breath, to talkies. Lee Cox and Kevin Frakes direct this performance of the golden era and promises a humorous and romantic tale of the fun that was Singing in the Rain. That happens Friday and Saturday. You can get tickets again at altonlittletheater.org. On Saturday as well, RecFest at the National Great Rivers Museum in East Alton is the largest recreation and safety festival in the Riverbend. The free event from 10 a.m. till 3 p.m. offers families and adventure-themed day filled with activities like archery, hiking, and even rock climbing. The Farm Store season opener is this Saturday at Theodora Farms, and they invite you to celebrate the opening of the store for the 2024 season. From 10 a.m. until 1 p.m., you can enjoy live music, shop from artists and vendors, and taste delicious spring refreshments. They're located at 4835 North Albee Road in Godfrey. Girls on Grapes, Boys on Brew at the Loading Dock in an annual fundraiser hosted by the Alton Memorial Hospital White Cross Auxiliary. From noon to 3 p.m., you can sample food, wine, and beer from over 30 restaurants and wineries, all supporting a great cause on Saturday, May the 18th. Porch Cafe is inviting you to stop on down to the Alton VFW for the first time on a Friday night. Enjoy live music with no cover charge and a spacious dance floor. Bring your friends and have a good old time. Plus, on Sunday at the VFW, Pancake Breakfast is a community event held every third Sunday at Post 1308 from 9 a.m. until 12 p.m. For just $10 a plate, you can enjoy pancakes, eggs, sausage, coffee, and orange juice while supporting VFW Post 1308 and Scout Troop 1. Singles meet up every Sunday at Riviera Maya. Looking for singles to join their meetup on the new patio on Sunday evenings. If you're interested in organizing or participating, be sure to get in touch with the organizers at Riviera Maya or just be a part of the event on Sunday. We're rolling around to top of the hour on the 16th day of May. We'll come back with all the events happening right after we do top of the hour news, but let me take a quick break but fill you in on Village Dispensary. They're the best. I was just talking to Allie yesterday, and we're going to get her on the show and have her fill us in about her love for the staff and just the atmosphere that's inside Village Dispensary. What I think's cool is that, listen, a lot of you guys that are into cannabis, be honest with yourselves, you're picky. You just don't want the regular stuff. You want that really good item. You want something that's going to last because you're working and you're going home, and instead of, drinking a beer, that's what you're doing. And hey, I'm cool with it. But I need to fill you in on the largest inventory in the area at Village Dispensary. I love it. I mean, from pre-rolls, topicals, tinctures, to vape pens, to edibles, you name it. But it's not just like 2 or 3 of each category. It is full to the brim of opportunity. Whether or not you're looking for something that, just to maybe hold you over until next week, or maybe you need something light to get you through, an evening with the in-laws, whatever you need, it's at Village Dispensary. It's locally owned, but what I think's cool is that it was union built and union built in the community. And there's so many more opportunities if you go to villagedispo.com. That's villagedispo.com. Place your order, and you'll be in and out of the door within 2 minutes. If you're a first-time cannabis user, have no fear. Village Dispensary is here for you. They got a consult area, so you don't feel bad about maybe holding somebody up in line that's just trying to pick up an order. They'll sit you down, talk to you about what you want, what you don't want, what your taste buds are liking and what they aren't liking, and they're taking care of you and giving you that first-class service at Village Dispensary. VillageDispo.com. That's VillageDispo.com, and when you walk in the door, just tell the gang down there that CJ and RiverBender sent you over their way. 10:01, quick break, top of the hour news rolls around the corner next in downtown Alton.
No matter the season, Played Again Sports in Edwardsville has the gear the athletes need to get in the game. Whether you're shopping for the newest sports equipment or saving money on quality used gear, Played Again Sports carries what you need to maximize performance to get the most out of every swing, kick, stroke, or shot. We'll even buy your used goods, paying cash on the spot. We carry all the gear for all the sports all year long. We're your hometown sporting goods store. Play It Again Sports, conveniently located at 4 Club Center Court in Edwardsville.
I just got a new air conditioner. Top of the line.
I bet mine's better. It's so efficient and quiet, I hardly know it's running.
I've got you both trunked. I've got a Linux.
So do I.
Barrett Heating and Cooling carries Linux products to meet any budget. Don't gamble with your energy dollars. Call Barrett Heating and Cooling and start saving today.
Lennox. Innovation never felt so good.
With over 20 years of experience, Wilson's Tree Service has the expertise to handle all of your tree care needs. Licensed and fully insured, their team of experts are dedicated to providing reliable service. Plus, with a 24-hour emergency service line, Wilson's will always be there for you. Don't risk tackling that timber by yourself. Trust the local professionals at Wilson's Tree Service. Visit treeservicealtonil.org to get started today.
Welcome to Evergreen Place, a community that embodies joyful living, independence, and financial freedom for seniors. If you're looking for a full day of activities or to relax in your apartment, we have you covered. Located on the Alton Memorial Campus. To know us is to love us. Experience the difference at Evergreen Place.
Life's better when you're under our roof. That's because our expert agents will make you feel totally protected with the right auto and home coverage at the right price. Also, you can enjoy the dreams you've worked so hard to achieve. American Family Insurance.
Since 1993, Sparks Junk Removal is always adapting to the needs of our clients. That is why we now offer weekly trash pickup for selected areas. Plus, we offer driveway-safe rubber-tired dumpster rental. Give us a call today at 618-781-1407 or visit us at sparksjunkremoval.net.
Not sure if you've noticed, but those advertised prices from the other dealers are just a bunch of blah, blah, blah. At Roberts Motors, the advertised price is the price you pay. And that, my friend, is great news for you. Don't fall for their so-called incentives that will leave you banging your head against the wall. Go with Roberts Motors. Prices you can trust and people you will like. That's the Roberts Motors way. And trust me, it's the way to go.
In the heart-pounding moments of the game, every move counts, just like in chiropractic care. Dr. Andrew Dykman of Rosewood Chiropractic champions this belief, supporting our teams in every drive and supporting his patients for nearly 20 years, offering affordable, compassionate, all-natural wellness care. Call 618-259-2676 or visit rosewoodchiropractic.com today. Welcome back to our daily show. Here's CJ.
Why do you drink? Why do you roll smoke?
I love old Bo Cephas. 10:06, here's what's happening in this 10 o'clock hour. Make sure you sign up for your daily email updates and your text notifications. 618 20. Hold on here. I just lost my notes. You can text RB to 618-202-4618. That's RB to 618-202-4618 to sign up for your alerts today. And we'll alert you on breaking news, weather conditions, closings and cancellations, sports scores, and a hell of a lot more. Text RB to 618-202-4618 to sign up and be a part of the growing text chain today. Here's what's happening around the Riverbend. We touched on this in the 9 o'clock hour news with the GoFundMe, but here is the official charge. On May the 13th, a tragic incident occurred at another level nightclub in East St. Louis, resulting in the death of 39-year-old Danielle Williams. Illinois State Police, assisted by the East St. Louis Police Department, arrested 45-year-old Lakeisha S. Cole of Cahokia Heights on charges of first-degree murder, a Class M felony. The arrest followed an intensive investigation after the East St. Louis Police Department sought help in this homicide case. The St. Clair County State's Attorney James Gomerick officially filed the charges against Cole on May the 14th. Cole remains in custody, and further details on the case are awaited. Also in the news, Phillips 66 and the Phillips 66 Community Advisory Panel, known as CAP, have awarded $1,000 scholarships to 8 area students this spring. The scholarships recognize students for their community service, academic performance, and financial need. The recipients, selected from over 40 applicants, include students from CM, Alton High, Roxana, and East Alton Wood River High School. The panel, which includes community members and Phillips 66 employees, aims to encourage students to contribute to their communities in the future. The scholarship initiative is part of CAP's efforts since 2003 to support educational organizations and promote careers in the energy sector. The students were honored at the Phillips 66 Community Leaders Breakfast on May the 8th. Congratulations to all the students who were recognized for their great academic success. In a remarkable academic achievement, as we follow up from that Phillips 66 story, Meredith Schaff of Civic Memorial, associated with the Boys and Girls Club of Bethalto, has been awarded a $22,000 scholarship by Phillips 66. The scholarship is part of the Phillips 66 Community Scholarship Program, which dispersed $589,000 to 109 students nationwide this year. The program supports high-achieving students from locations where Phillips 66 operates, emphasizing academic excellence, community involvement, and financial need. Phillips 66, a major player in the energy sector, continues to its commitment to education and community support, preparing promising students like Meredith for future successes. Also in the news, on Saturday, May the 18th, Alton Main Street is set to host its annual pup crawl. This is one of my favorites, encouraging the community and their canine companions to explore local businesses. I think my puppy Nico is still too young to drink. The event, running from noon to 5 p.m. at Russell Commons Park, offers participants a chance to register for $10, which includes a bandana and a Frisbee, featuring a QR code for pet-friendly spots in the downtown Alton area, with 21 establishments involved, including eateries like Brown Bag Bistro and shops like It's Raining Zen and Riverbend Yoga. The day promises plenty of fun. A free shuttle will facilitate movement around town from noon to 8 p.m. This initiative, stemming from a 2017 community needs assessment, it highlights the Main Street's dedication to being a dog-friendly environment and the Alton area as a whole, as shared by Sarah McGibney, the executive director of Alton Main Street. Also in the news, and more serious news, on May the 10th, this is something that we did touch on yesterday before the show ended, but here is the official news report. Illinois Attorney General Kwame Raoul did charge 30-year-old Zachary Ashby of Muscuda with multiple Class X felonies involving sexual assault and child pornography. The charges filed in St. Clair County Circuit Court include 3 counts of predatory criminal sexual assault and 10 counts related to the manufacturing and dissemination of child pornography. Ashby, who is currently held in St. Clair County Jail, faces up to 60 years in prison for each count of sexual assault and up to 30 years for each of the child pornography charges. The arrest followed a collaborative effort between the Illinois Internet Crimes Against Children's Task Force and the Muscoda Police Department, highlighting an ongoing commitment to combat online child exploitation. The public is reminded that all defendants are presumed innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. Finally, in the news this morning at 10:11, before we talk to the Queen of Junk, who is now 31 years old in the business community, Father McGivney Catholic, led by Rachel Kretzer's hat trick and Sophia Rosetto's 2 goals, claimed a decisive 7-0 win against Trenton Wesleyan in IHSA Class 1A Regional Championship. The match took place on a gloomy afternoon at Boise Road, propelling the Griffins into the Murfreesboro sectional with a solid defensive performance highlighted by a shared clean sheet between Peyton Ellis and Carpenter Farmer. McGivney had a formidable showing with great skill work, and head coach Matt McVicar praised the team's effort, emphasizing the importance of their defense. The victory marks a promising advancement as they prepare to face Belleville-Altoff in the upcoming sectional semifinal. The time is 10:12 on the 16th day of May. Once again, it's my sister's birthday, just in case she's listening and I can get some brownie points. Right now it's 67 degrees. It feels like 67. And Denise, has it started raining yet out there? Is it raining? Oh, okay. Yeah, it's a raining. Today, considerable clouds, rain, and a thunderstorm in this morning, followed by more thunderstorms this afternoon, and they could get serious. So just be mindful if they start to pop up that you get some cover, and probably should cancel your soccer practice today. Tonight, mostly cloudy and a couple of heavy evening thunderstorms, followed by a shower later on tonight. Temperatures have already reached what they're going to reach today. They were at 71 degrees, but now we're dropping. They will drop down to 60 degrees as we head into Friday. On Friday, a 50% chance of more thunderstorms in the area, a high of 77 degrees, a low of 58. On Saturday and through Monday and into next week, get ready to get your T-shirts out because it's getting hot out there. A high of 84 on Saturday, a low of 62. On Sunday, a high of 90, a low of 65, no rain in the forecast. And on Monday, a high of 89, a low of 69. No rain in the forecast Monday as well. For time and temperature throughout the day, you can always give this phone number a ring, 618-465-4545. This time powered by Bounce Back Rehab Recover and Return Home. Well, we're getting ready to talk to her, so let me fill you in. Sparks Junk Removal is 31 years old in the 618, and as I talk to you guys pretty much each and every day about Sparks Junk Removal, one thing that we can't emphasize enough is their commitment to community. You know, all throughout the year, Denise Sparks is always putting things up on Facebook of things that they've acquired from some of their cleanup jobs. And now with that brand new warehouse on Broadway, more opportunity awaits. Plus those free incentivized programs like the Christmas tree pickup and all of those great incentives and just things they do in the community to let you know that they're here for you. Plus, what I love is when you call Sparks Junk Removal, guess who you get on the phone? Sparks Junk Removal. You don't get some third-party call center where they don't know where you're located, who you are, and they don't treat you like a number. You know, I called my trash company because I'm kind of tied into a contract here in the city of Alton, and guess when I get a call back? I don't. It's that simple. At Sparks Junk Removal, they are there for you, whether or not you need them for their weekly trash service, where they're servicing so many areas like Bunker Hill, Roxana, Godfrey, Morrow, you name it. You go to sparksjunkremoval.net, click on that weekly trash service tab, and see which areas there are servicing. You put your name, your phone number in, and you're good to go. But with the weather warming up, I know that you got that broken down hot tub that's been there since the financial crash in 2008, and your neighbors are getting ready to report you to the alderman. You need to have Sparks Junk Removal come out there and clean up your mess. You can do so by finding out more information at sparksjunkremoval.net. That's sparksjunkremoval.net, and reclaim your space and your peace of mind with the best weekly trash service in the 618 at sparksjunkremoval.net today.
No matter the season, Play It Again Sports in Edwardsville has the gear the athletes need to get in the game. Whether you're shopping for the newest sports equipment or saving money on quality used gear, Play It Again Sports carries what you need to maximize performance to get the most out of every swing, kick, stroke, or shot. We'll even buy your used goods, paying cash on the spot. We carry all the gear for all the sports all year long. We're your hometown sporting goods store. Play It Again Sports, conveniently located at 4 Club Center Court in Edwardsville.
I just got a new air conditioner. Top of the line.
I bet mine's better. It's so efficient and quiet, I hardly know it's running.
I've got you both trunked. I've got a Linux.
So do I.
Barrett Heating and Cooling carries Lennox products to meet any budget. Don't gamble with your energy dollars. Call Barrett Heating and Cooling and start saving today.
Lennox. Innovation never felt so good.
With over 20 years of experience, Wilson's Tree Service has the expertise to handle all of your tree care needs. Licensed and fully insured, their team of experts are dedicated to providing reliable service. Plus, with a 24-hour emergency service line, Wilson's will always be there for you. Don't risk tackling that timber by yourself. Trust the local professionals at Wilson's Tree Service. Visit treeservicealtonil.org to get started today.
Welcome to Evergreen Place, a community that embodies joyful living, independence, and financial freedom for seniors. If you're looking for a full day of activities or to relax in your apartment, we have you covered. Located on the Alton Memorial Campus. To know us is to love us. Experience the difference at Evergreen Place.
Life's better when you're under our roof. That's because our expert agents will make you feel totally protected with the right auto and home coverage at the right price. Also, you can enjoy the dreams you've worked so hard to achieve. American Family Insurance.
Since 1993, Sparks Junk Removal is always adapting to the needs of our clients. That is why we now offer weekly trash pickup for selected areas. Plus, we offer driveway-safe rubber-tired dumpster rental. Give us a call today at 618-781-1407 or visit us at sparksjunkremoval.net.
Not sure if you've noticed, but those advertised prices from the other dealers are just a bunch of blah, blah, blah. At Roberts Motors, the advertised price is the price you pay. And that, my friend, is great news for you. Don't fall for their so-called incentives that will leave you banging your head against the wall. Go with Roberts Motors. Prices you can trust and people you will like. That's the Roberts Motors way. And trust me, it's the way to go.
In the heart-pounding moments of the game, every move counts, just like in chiropractic care. Dr. Andrew Dykman of Rosewood Chiropractic champions this belief, supporting our teams in every drive and supporting his patients for nearly 20 years, offering affordable, compassionate, all-natural wellness care. Call 618-259-2676 or visit rosewoodchiropractic.com today.
Welcome back to our daily show. Here's CJ.
To leave the capsule if you dare. This is Major Tom to grab.
31 years. Shit. 31 years in the church. Sorry, we were just talking here. Denise, how are we?
Good.
So I saw that you have a new warehouse.
Yeah, 2201 East Broadway, the very first Pepsi building.
Okay, now
kind of catty-corner from My buddy's there at GB Grill.
That's really cool. Now, was this a spot you were looking at initially?
I've been in it for the last year.
Oh.
Renting it.
Oh, okay. And now, what's over there? I saw some, slightly used items, some bed frames, some dressers.
Oh, we get some stuff in that we donate, repurpose, so we try to give back to the community as much as we can.
Well, and that's what I think's really great. My parents love it, by the way. They're happy with Sparks Junk Removal over there in Godfrey. They're having a good old time.
I
you
love
know?
to hear that.
And how's everything been? This year was a busy year. We thought last year wasn't going to get any busier, but here we are now.
Well, I can tell you with my office assistant, this is what she said. When I started in September, you had 200 customers. That's what I was on the truck myself doing from, oh my gosh, I can remember the first customer that I started with in Grafton. So now we have 3 times that.
Are you serious?
And we're growing. And I've outgrown my new 8-yard rear loader. So actually, I was speaking to one of my equipment guys yesterday about getting a bigger truck.
Yeah.
We'll keep the smaller one because the people of Jerseyville are begging me to come to Jerseyville.
Well, and honestly, I've been making a case that the city of Alton needs to figure it out and get rid of their contract and see what we can do because there's a lot of people.
There are a lot. And you know what? Let me just stress this right now. It's not because I own the business. Before I even started this, I went before our city council a year ago and I said, actually, and recently I sent an email and I said, you guys know that I own a junk removal business. I go to the landfill. This was before I even started the trash side of it. I said, why are you forcing me when you gave us the opportunity over a year ago? Do you want to opt in with Constellation or do you want to opt out? Why don't you give the people that choice? And their jaws all dropped.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, now it's gotten to a point, and people got mad at me because I give your live read and I talk about my trash struggles in Alton. And it's not about the workers or anything. They're fine. It's the way the company is managed. You have a national conglomerate that is coming into small town America, taking care of small town American citizens that need to talk to somebody or need to have some answers. And when you call, you don't get any answers. It's, we're going to expedite this one for you. Oh, this is expedited. You feel like a number, and they never take care of it.
Well, and I probably shouldn't bring this up, but I'm going to because I've always been told by my family I'm like the captain of the ship. I do everything. Yeah. I do everything by the rules. And one of the things right now is our Madison County stickers are due, by the 1st of July, and it was always a 1-page application. Now it's a 6-page application because I haul trash. Well, if you look at it, people, trash is trash. It doesn't matter if I'm cleaning out a house or if I'm coming by and grabbing your bagged trash out of your container. When I go to the landfill, it goes to the same spot. All of us independent owners go to the same spot, we dump, and we're out of there. And your same dozer covers it up. So what does it matter? I can see asbestos is different, but here's the thing. There is an EPA law that says it's mandatory to offer recycling. We cannot offer recycling when we have nowhere to take it.
Yeah.
Okay. So to me, and I'm going to talk to the county about this soon, to me it's an EPA issue. It's not the landfill's issue.
No.
Because the landfill that's owned by Waste Management in Madison, they don't have recycling. Republic, I just recently asked, can we get into that pit? Again, I was told no, it's only for their drivers at Roxana Landfill. I think another locally owned company, trash hauler like myself, small, family owned, does not offer it. So therefore, we need a hub. So here's what I tell my customers, and I get no pushback because the county wants me, they want to be able to come in and inspect my paperwork of how I'm separating.
But they don't offer why would you separate if you don't offer that other service?
I do offer this service. You know where I tell them? I tell them to come right downtown Alton
Gotcha.
to the mobile
Is that green?
recycling that is owned by the major corporation that owns the Roxana landfill. So how am I supposed to give you mandatory paperwork when my people opt to take it down there? So that's a whole new ballgame.
Well, it is, and that's going to get interesting because I've had my concerns about the recycling process from the big company because
I watched the big company dump my recycle at my home. I live in Alton. Into the trash truck.
That's what I'm saying, Denise. I don't understand how they can do that and not and then all of a sudden they fill out the same paperwork because it's still trash. You're still putting it in the same car, the same hole, and you're still driving it to the same spot. Because I'm going, this guy one day this needs to be recycled. And then finally the new guy goes, I'll take it to the same place. It doesn't matter what can it's in. It's all going with us, and that's a huge issue.
Well, there is a separate area.
Is there?
When you pull into the Roxana landfill, there is a separate area for that corporation's trucks. But for us small people, I have dumped in Litchfield, which is owned by a major corporation. I have dumped in Cottonwood. It's owned by a different major corporation. None of those places allow you to do anything with your recycle. Now, on the junk removal side, I've always been very eco-friendly. So if you put something, and a lot of people don't know this. This is important.
Yeah.
And forever who's listening, I want you to know this, especially with the major corporations. When I rent a trailer, in my rental agreement, it asks very nicely to please put your recyclables, like if you have appliances, metal, whatever, at the back of my trailer. Does that happen? No. I bring my trailers back to my warehouse. We go through those trailers. We take out, before we go to the landfill, whatever can be recycled at the scrapyard, because that's where it needs to go. Yeah. So on the flip side, myself and other independently owned companies around here, I'm not going to say names because we all know who these people are. They have roll-off businesses, okay? So when the roll-off truck comes into the landfill, if it's a 30, 40-yarder, come on, nobody's going to dig through that.
No.
They go to the top of the active cell like I do, and they dump, and there's all kinds of stuff in there because people at households just do that. They have a dumpster.
It's all going.
It's all going.
Yeah. Now, and see, this is where I get so, I guess, frustrated with the whole, environmental side of things, and because you need to watch for those, and you need to make sure that
it needs changed bad.
100%. But when you got a company that literally monopolized an entire area, how can you get anything done? Because you just hit it right on the head. The only place you could go is owned by that firm, who's not going to let you or any other smaller guy in there. So what's the other option? Because they are not complying with EPA set standards.
It's going to be a county issue that I'm going to hopefully be able to address before the board and the higher ups, because it's not really the county's issue, but they're putting on our required sticker.
Your tag, your registration.
Renewals.
Yeah.
I was trying to find the word renewal. That, it's a mandatory law, but there's no ordinance attached to my paperwork. There's no specifics. It's just, and they want to know where my routes are. They want to know how many households I service.
I get weird by that.
To me, that's proprietary information.
It is. And to me, it's who's to say that they don't have a little buddy in that office for that big conglomerate that's going to be getting that information. And don't tell me it ain't going to happen, because it does all the time. It does.
Yep.
That's just my thought. Sorry. I don't want to get you in trouble today.
I'm not naming any names.
No. It's frustrating, though. It's like
I've been doing this 31 years, and, I'm probably not liked at the county now because, I I believe in doing everything the right way, and I'm going to plug Rusty Wheat because he's an awesome guy, and I'm very thankful that I met him, and I think and have made some suggestions to the higher-ups. He should be awarded for his efforts.
I agree, 100%.
He should be awarded for
100%.
that.
No one really I was trying to call to action it all the time. This is somebody that's actually getting real change done. It's not just like, oh, name a road. Real legislative change and real practice change on how things are going and all of that. That's huge recognition.
Well, I just read yesterday, you know, Senator Harris, I met her, and Amy Ellick I've met a couple of times. Senator Harris has put the bill through. It passed the House, it passed the Senate, or vice versa, however it goes. And it's now on the governor's desk to be signed, and it's going to go into law that if you are going down the roadway and these trucks have anything fly off, it's a $150 fine.
Yep. Should be. And you should be able to report it. And I think, and I'll be the one to say it, and I'll say it for 10 years if I'm still on this microphone, is that it should be called the Rusty Wheat Law because he's the exact one that kept banging on the door for it.
I agree with you. Or on a section of 255, the Rusty Wheat
Byway. 100%.
Yep, I believe that also.
Do you have a couple minutes to stick around?
Yep.
Because we chatted about all the things going on, but I just want to talk to you about how the business is going too. And I want to take a break because I got something to show you.
Okay.
Something newsy, but I can't show the public yet. 10:32, we'll take a quick break, come back with the Queen of Junk, 31 years old in business, and more to go.
No matter the season, Play It Again Sports in Edwardsville has the gear the athletes need to get in the game. Whether you're shopping for the newest sports equipment or saving money on quality used gear, Play It Again Sports carries what you need to maximize performance to get the most out of every swing, kick, stroke, or shot. We'll even buy your used goods, paying cash on the spot. We carry all the gear for all the sports all year long. We're your hometown sporting goods store. Play It Again Sports, conveniently located at 4 Club Center Court in Edwardsville.
I just got a new air conditioner. Top of the line.
I bet mine's better. It's so efficient and quiet, I hardly know it's running.
I've got you both trunked. I've got a Linux.
So do I.
Barrett Heating and Cooling carries Linux products to meet any budget. Don't gamble with your energy dollars. Call Barrett Heating and Cooling and start saving today.
Lennox. Innovation never felt so good.
With over 20 years of experience, Wilson's Tree Service has the expertise to handle all of your tree care needs. Licensed and fully insured, their team of experts are dedicated to providing reliable service. Plus, with a 24-hour emergency service line, Wilson's will always be there for you. Don't risk tackling that timber by yourself. Trust the local professionals at Wilson's Tree Service. Visit treeservicealtonil.org to get started today.
Welcome to Evergreen Place, a community that embodies joyful living, independence, and financial freedom for seniors. If you're looking for a full day of activities or to relax in your apartment, we have you covered. Located on the Alton Memorial Campus. To know us is to love us. Experience the difference at Evergreen Place.
Life's better when you're under our roof. That's because our expert agents will make you feel totally protected with the right auto and home coverage at the right price. Also, you can enjoy the dreams you worked so hard to achieve. American Family Insurance.
Since 1993, Sparks Junk Removal is always adapting to the needs of our clients. That is why we now offer weekly trash pickup for selected areas. Plus, we offer driveway-safe rubber-tired dumpster rental. Give us a call today at 618-781-1407 or visit us at sparksjunkremoval.net.
Not sure if you've noticed, but those advertised prices from the other dealers are just a bunch of blah, blah, blah. At Roberts Motors, the advertised price is the price you pay. And that, my friend, is great news for you. Don't fall for their so-called incentives that will leave you banging your head against the wall. Go with Roberts Motors. Prices you can trust and people you will like. That's the Roberts Motors way. And trust me, it's the way to go.
In the heart-pounding moments of the game, every move counts, just like in chiropractic care. Dr. Andrew Dykman of Rosewood Chiropractic champions this belief, supporting our teams in every drive and supporting his patients for nearly 20 years, offering affordable, compassionate, all-natural wellness care. Call 618-259-2676 or visit rosewoodchiropractic.com today.
Welcome back to our daily show. Here's CJ.
It's a living thing. It's a terrible thing to lose. It's a given thing. What a terrible thing to lose.
Interesting stuff happening in the 618 and throughout the
Thank you.
national news cycle. Hey, coming back to, so I just have
We always have fun
We
here.
have too much fun.
Too
you
much
know?
fun. I think I should switch and I should interview you.
No. Oh my God. So I went over to do the, this is bad. I went over to Alton Middle School. I was coaching there, but they said, can you come do our podcast? Because I had their podcasters in. Denise, I don't know if that's going to air, but I gave them some news in that one. I mean, I was just, and nothing bad or like no F-bombs or anything, but just things when I left, I went, huh. Well,
No, I think after all these years, I think of being on this side, I want to be on that side and put you in the hot seat.
Let's do the segment that way. Well, that'll be fun. That'll be really fun. Well, getting back to 31 years in business, how's it been? Did you ever really think that you'd last 30 years or 30 plus?
Man, I was just saying this morning, I want to go back.
Yeah.
You know, I love what I do. I tell people this all the time. I love what I do. And everybody says, when are you going to retire? When are you going to retire? And I'm like, I'd be dead. People retire and they die. They have nothing to do.
You're exactly right, Denise. And that's what I was wondering, especially with what you know now and what you've learned in the industry, to go back and do it all over again. Man, you'd probably be at, in some corporate office space somewhere, with 800 Sparks junk removals around.
I just brought one of my sisters home a couple of months ago. She's 70, to try and get her health back on track again. And I took her back, and she called me last night, and she was like, man, you work way too much. You need to slow down. And I said, no, because I can't.
Well, and too, I think the fact that you're so...
I know what my pace is now.
Yeah.
I can't do a lot of what I used to do, but
you can do.
I can still build.
Well, and the thing is too, Denise, is people go to Sparks Junk Removal. It's because you guys are the product and the service.
And if you call, you get us. You don't get somebody in Indiana, Ohio, Texas, Arizona.
I told you, I was calling the big boy a couple weeks ago because I said, guys, I don't know what to do anymore. I put my trash out, and I'm not trying to be the guy that calls every week, but everyone's and I put mine out Thursday night, so I know I'm not getting beat to the punch. Okay, well, for a couple of weeks, everyone's trash was taken but mine. Like everyone's can but mine, and I set it up right next to everybody else's on that part of the road, so I knew it was there. And eventually I just gave up because the lady that was answering the phone was like, man, if that was me, I'd be real angry. You don't say! Well, all of a sudden, I realized they weren't calling me back, and I gave up putting my trash out. So now, thankfully, I have a new driver who's just decided that I just have given up on them as a company, and he just comes over and grabs it. And
that's awesome. Now, that's how our drivers are. I always tell them.
Yeah.
Because we have curbside, just like everybody else, or if you live on a private lane and, you're disabled or you're elderly, I don't understand why these companies are not driving down their road. They can't. Some of these lanes are 600 feet long. They can't drag their can down there.
Well, and what I love that you do is that thing is
if they miss putting it out, my guy will get out of the truck
and go get it.
That's what I've taught them.
And what I think,
I'm old school.
This is what I love too, is that valet pickup too, because I have relatives that are older, and we all have them that don't want to leave their home, and who would? I mean, this is your spot. This is where you have all the memories, and you know, when you're offering, saying, "Hey, I'm going to come in, we'll get it right out of that receptacle for you, we'll take it down for you in that valet pickup style." That's such a huge incentive, because it's a little thing that adds up to that bigger piece of keeping somebody where they're comfortable at and knowing that they're still going to have their needs serviced. And that's what I think's really cool.
Yeah, we love that, and we do that for a lot of people.
I bet.
And then, you know, I don't know if you know this, but recently another very small, independently owned company, trash hauler, I think it was 2 weeks ago, I started getting phone calls on my cell phone that they sold out, and they sold to another corporation from St. Louis. So these people are freaking out. They're like, well, what are we going to do? And I said, well, Sparks can take care of you. Well, we're going to try them. So that was the first letter. Last week, or the week before, another letter went out from this company out of St. Louis. Oh, by the way, you're not in our pickup area. So now we're getting flooded with those calls because, unfortunately, I'm going to preach this.
Yes.
People think that cheaper is better.
Yep.
And for just $5 more, $6 more, you could have went with us months ago, and you wouldn't be going through this aggravation.
Can I say something real quick? You actually saved my parents money. My dad said his bill went down $5 a month, and he goes, even CJ, even if it went up 10, I'd rather be with Denise, because I know that they're going to answer the phone if I have anything that, you know, and it's those situations where, you know, I got a hot water heater the other day, okay? Well, where do you put the 7-foot box that comes in it? You know, you don't think about those things. If I called the big company and I said, hey, I have this, well, they're going to give me some upcharge because, well, we got to break down the box and you don't have your recycle bin because we never brought it over to you. So go ahead and pay us $35 for that because it's a delivery fee or some type of jargon. But I guarantee if I called you and said, Denise, this box won't fit. I don't know what to do.
I'd send a junk removal truck by.
Exactly. And you take care of us. And that's why it's that neighbor mentality of being local in the community. That's why my parents love it. I mean, they just are infatuated with it.
You have to come up with a jingle for me because I said, remember the old Central Hardware? Like everything from scoop to nuts. I need one for Sparks because the thing is you can get everything locally done.
Yep.
If you have a bulk pickup, we do bulk pickups. I have the lowest price that I can give you, I call our curbside pickup. I get a ton of people now that put stuff to the curb because they're getting it for a better price. If you call me, and I have a lot of weekly trash people that will call and say, hey, Denise, you know, I do a lot of Amazon. I've got all this cardboard. Here's what I tell you. We don't want all that cardboard in our rear loader because it will tend to jam it up.
Yeah.
What do you have? Send me a picture. Text me a picture, 618-781-1407. I'll come by and get it, you know?
And that's what, but to me, that's what's missing in America, in this country, is that small business mentality. Because for 20, 40 years, hell, I heard all these stories about business owners doing things like that all the time, you know. In this,
the old handshake is gone, and that's how I was raised. I was raised on, if you made a deal between somebody and you shook on it, your word.
It's freaking me out, though. Can I tell you why? I don't know if you go through this. To me, I'm, and people are going to probably crap all over me. I'm very, what I say is literal. If I shake on something, if I tell you on the phone, this is what we're going to do for you, I'll remember it. I got it written down somewhere just so I know. But I don't feel like I need to email you all the details of what I told you on the phone because you're going to get my word for it and I'm going to do it for you. But now it's like this day and age where everyone's got to have a written copy because so many people are deceitful and
it's a different generation.
But I'm like that with you, Denise. I'm right there with you where it's like if I'm telling you something, that's it. And this is what you're going to get for it. There's no weird third party or underwritten rule.
We were recently, last week, I had a meeting with, actually lunch meeting with one of the guys out of Grafton, Alan. I think his name is
Peter.
Alan Gilmore.
Oh, Alan Gilmore. Okay.
Nice guy. He originally called me, wanted information on our trash business. And then I met with the mayor. I met both of them for lunch. And we had a really good meeting. And, you know, they put out, the mayor was telling me he puts out a quarterly newsletter and giving the people of Grafton, he was like me. He said, and Mayor Mike McCormick of Godfrey, we believe in free enterprise.
Yeah.
The people should choose. And I told him, I said, if you try and put these people in a contract, they're not going to like that. So, you know, here we've got these mayors, and when I spoke before Alton
City Council,
the answer was, it's an ordinance. And the mayor was, I'll get back with you, Denise. That was a year ago. I've never heard from anybody.
No. Well, and, you know, hopefully greener pastures are ahead in terms of just getting some feedback and getting a phone call back. It's just, to me, there is no argument or any political side of the aisle for what you're wanting to do, and that's just give the people a damn option. Give
them a choice, and I don't care if you go with whoever.
And you can give me this, well, we do it to keep your rates lower. Okay, well, if that's the case, then rework how our sewer bill's broken down, and then we'll go from there. Because you can't tell me that it's our monthly expense is gonna double if we get out of the contract. You know what
are our rates lower? They keep going up.
Well, exactly. So it's like you did this to save us money, but it's still going. I got so mad the other day, and I shouldn't say this on the air, but I had a little CJ moment, you know, where I hadn't had my trash picked up forever, and I keep getting a monthly bill, so I quit paying it. And guess what? They called me and said, well, what's going on here? I said, well, I've gotten my trash picked up 2 times in 2 months, so why am I paying this? Well, you got to because it has your sewer. I said, no, that if they didn't come to your house, would you expect to pay that bill? Well, no. I said, then why isn't lumped in together? Because that's how people can start fighting this. If you split out what's trash, what's sewer, and not just lump it in together, people could be easily picking up that phone and saying, hey, you haven't been to my house in 3 weeks. I'm not paying you this month. And they have that. They should have that right to do so, too.
Well, and I have to say that one of the drivers that works for me that's been there since September, he's great on the route. I would have to say 98%, he never misses anybody. If in that 2% somebody gets missed, I get in my truck, I drive to your house, and I pick it up.
Yep.
Or one of the junk removal guys, whoever is available, we will be at your driveway and pick that trash up.
I love it. And now, did you do anything to celebrate the 31 years yesterday?
Are you kidding? No. Actually, my big celebration, I think, that I was totally surprised is next week.
Oh, yes. Let's talk about that. I forgot that you were recognized by the RBGA.
Yeah.
Take me through
I'm very humbled about it. You know, I remember my roots. I came from probably, let's see, what did it cost me to start my franchise? $5,000.
Just incredible.
That was it in 1993. And then I just, started moving my business from there. And yeah, when I was called that I was...
What was the name of the award?
The Pioneer Award.
Pioneer Award. I was trying to find it on Facebook.
And it's for a small business that basically sees that there needs to be a change and does something about it.
Well, there's no better fit.
There's some great people that are getting...
Yes, there are, being recognized.
Yes.
But honestly, there's no better fit in the Pioneer Award than being bestowed upon yourself. Because you
Pioneer? Is that because I'm old?
No, honestly, you were a pioneer. I mean, think about it. You literally went from ground zero to...
Well, I was told a couple of years ago, you can't do this, Denise.
Yep.
You can't do this. You don't know what you're doing.
Thank you for telling Denise that, because that motivated her. And you proved them all wrong. And Denise, is there anyone you want to thank for the 31-year mark? Any employees, anyone that you want to give a shout out to? Any clients?
There are really so many people. I have to thank really big time when I got into property preservation years ago that led me to this. My huge mentor, and I just really, really respect these guys, is Rick and Dave Lauschke.
Yeah.
They are amazing people. They mentored me through as well, purchasing this building, made sure that everything went the way that it was supposed to go. And I can never thank those two enough. All my customers. I mean, 31 years of people.
Exactly.
Wonderful people. And people like you. And I've had some, in the beginning, I was so proud in 93, I could count all the employees on one hand. Now, you know, people will come up to me and say, do you remember me? I worked for you back in 1996. And I'm like, refresh my memory. My memory's a little, you know.
Right. Well, the thing is, too, Denise, I mean, for all of you at home to kind of equate this, have any of you worked at a place longer than 5-10 years anymore? Because it's now pretty rare for anyone in private or even, you know, the 9-to-5 punchers or you name it to really work that long.
This business that we do is not for the lighthearted.
No, no.
It's hard work.
And there's a lot that no one ever hears or sees about that you're dealing with,
But
too.
I couldn't do it without my team.
Yep.
And I give all the credit. It's not just for me. I'm kind of behind the scenes. But my team, they make it happen, and I train them to be like a mini me. I want them to treat my customers with the utmost respect because especially when you walk in to do a house clean out, you don't know what their story is.
Right.
You know, they've lost somebody, they're going through a horrible divorce, or they have a horrible illness, or they're elderly and they're moving from the home they've lived in for 50 years to assisted living. That's difficult for people.
Yeah, 100%. And Denise Sparks and Sparks Junk Removal Hauling Weekly Trash Service will be there with you every step of the way. Denise Sparks, always good talking to you.
Thank you, sir, very much.
Happy 31st birthday.
I wish I was 31. Thank you.
Take a quick break. We're having it up a Thursday morning after this.
No matter the season, Play It Again Sports in Edwardsville has the gear the athletes need to get in the game. Whether you're shopping for the newest sports equipment or saving money on quality used gear, Play It Again Sports carries what you need to maximize performance to get the most out of every swing, kick, stroke, or shot. We'll even buy your used goods, paying cash on the spot. We carry all the gear for all the sports all year long. We're your hometown sporting goods store. Play It Again Sports, conveniently located at 4 Club Center Court in Edwardsville.
I just got a new air conditioner. Top of the line.
I bet mine's better. It's so efficient and quiet, I hardly know it's running.
I've got you both trunked. I've got a Linux.
So do I.
Barrett Heating and Cooling carries Linux products to meet any budget. Don't gamble with your energy dollars. Call Barrett Heating and Cooling and start saving today.
Lennox. Innovation never felt so good.
With over 20 years of experience, Wilson's Tree Service has the expertise to handle all of your tree care needs. Licensed and fully insured, their team of experts are dedicated to providing reliable service. Plus, with a 24-hour emergency service line, Wilson's will always be there for you. Don't risk tackling that timber by yourself. Trust the local professionals at Wilson's Tree Service. Visit treeservicealtonil.org to get started today.
Welcome to Evergreen Place, a community that embodies joyful living, independence, and financial freedom for seniors. If you're looking for a full day of activities or to relax in your apartment, we have you covered. Located on the Alton Memorial Campus. To know us is to love us. Experience the difference at Evergreen Place.
Life's better when you're under our roof. That's because our our expert agents will make you feel totally protected with the right auto and home coverage at the right price. Also, you can enjoy the dreams you worked so hard to achieve. American Family Insurance.
Since 1993, Sparks Junk Removal is always adapting to the needs of our clients. That is why we now offer weekly trash pickup for selected areas. Plus, we offer driveway-safe rubber-tired dumpster rental. Give us a call today at 618-781-1407 or visit us at sparksjunkremoval.net.
Not sure if you've noticed, but those advertised prices from the other dealers are just a bunch of blah, blah, blah. At Roberts Motors, the advertised price is the price you pay. And that, my friend, is great news for you. Don't fall for their so-called incentives that will leave you banging your head against the wall. Go with Roberts Motors. Prices you can trust and people you will like. That's the Roberts Motors way. And trust me, it's the way to go.
In the heart-pounding moments of the game, every move counts, just like in chiropractic care. Dr. Andrew Dykman of Rosewood Chiropractic champions this belief, supporting our teams in every drive and supporting his patients for nearly 20 years, offering affordable, compassionate, all-natural wellness care. Call 618-259-2676 or visit rosewoodchiropractic.com today.
Welcome back to our daily show. Here's CJ.
Give me one reason to steer, and I'll turn right back around. You can see me turning. Give me one reason to steer, and I'll turn right back around. You can see me turning. Said I don't wanna leave you lonely. You gotta make me change my mind.
Oh, 10:57, welcome back. Thursday morning hitting you right in the nose, you know. Hey, always great talking to Denise Sparks, and she's one of my favorite people. And, you know, it's so good for me to, you know, soccer's one of my favorite things, and to help the young kids in the area learn a little bit more, and some of the older kids get ready for the next level in high school is fun. But, you know, it was so kind of in the motion, your tunnel vision, right? You're like this. It was kind of cool to be able to, this last week, whenever everything was all said and done, and get a couple of weeks of a break of everything, just to enjoy my own show a little bit more, because you're just kind of going constantly. And there's so many wonderful people like Denise Sparks around that really just take care of business and take care of the community. Hey, let me fill you in on Homes Outdoor Services. You only got a couple of more days to get that 15% off on hardscape and landscaping services. Ethan's the best. My grandma is a tough one to please, okay? And what I mean by that is she's, of course, the family's, you know, she just loves us all to death. But she expects when she calls you for a service that it's done, and it's done the right way, and it's not cutting corners. It's not going out there with, you know, a weed whacker and saying you cut the grass. It's doing your job, doing the service that you said you'd provide. I had to call Ethan because we needed somebody new to start cutting her grass, and Ethan did a great job. What I love is that he's always communicating. We had that monsoon for 2 weeks, and what better time to need a new lawn care company than during a monsoon and rain and grass grows 4 feet tall. Ethan called me and goes, man, there's something going on in the case of, I got the front yard cut, but I can't get in the back because the gate's too short. Can I do X, Y, and Z, and maybe we'll get this? Yeah, take care of it. Boom, done. Taken care of, and her yard's never looked better with Homes Outdoor Service. Whether you need them for lawn care or your hardscape and landscaping services, head on over to Homes Outdoor Service on Facebook. Give them a message and say, CJ told me to get in touch and start my outdoor services with you today. I'm out of time, but we got a great show tomorrow with some great guests, and then we're gearing up for another great week next week, as I'll be in Vegas for 2 of those days, but you won't know which days because we're taping both shows live. It'll be fun. On that note, I'll see you Friday. Get your umbrella out, and as always, try your best to stay out of jail.